Would our local agricultural supplies be able to support us?
Well, not really, because we're treated like second-hand stepchildren. They just bring it in, they bring it in, they bring it in. So we have trouble ramping up. And unless you're in full production, I mean, I'm very gun shy as far as planting. I used to be much more aggressive with this stuff, right? Planting and stuff, and really shoot the load. But I get gun shy because there's anomalies in the marketplace around here. When I say the marketplace, I mean just in the market. And it's tough stuff. But you get it. You start tossing 2-3 acres of broccoli, you get a little nervous. That's why we're so diverse. I think it's an absolute nightmare being that diverse, because you got to make sure the feed's here for the chickens. You got to make sure the egg boxes are here for the chickens. Simple thing like that will take you right out, right? And so you're weeks ahead planning, whereas the whole people are almost planning their dinner that morning. It's kind of, that's the deal. So it's to say the least interesting, very interesting. But I think we're right on the edge all the time. And obviously, the more stuff they have, especially fresh food, obviously it's perishable. But say they don't want to keep big inventories because I mean they got it pretty. They do a pretty good job, I would say, across the board. But it strikes me that what do they say? Give a guy a fish, he'll eat dinner. Teach him to fish, he'll eat dinner forever.
Yeah.
And I think we've really compromised our growing areas, and then people are of the opinion that if you let bushes grow on it, nobody would know, and you could build a house on it a couple of years later, and that there is that misconception, and but there's a huge difference between the real value of land, real estate, and the agricultural value. Typically, an acre of arable land, if it were to be taxed, they would it would be valued at $200,000. But I think it's even less than that now. I paid more for land, but because of various reasons, because it was contiguous to what we had and what have you. Our land base, and it's one of these deals where sadly once it goes, it's gone. So yeah, that's thing. That said, there's other ways to grow stuff like hydroponics and stuff like that, but it's not the panacea. I mean, and people expect. There's one thing the world expects, and the world's in for a shock. They expect cheap food. You get what you pay for in this deal.
Literally.